we're talking about earlier, we're going to look at counter offense today. We're going to start with the collar tie because this is a very common position where they just take a collar tie. Some people in jiu-jitsu quite spazzy in this position, just like repetitively snap. So it can get quite annoying and quite tiresome with the back. Okay, so we're going to look at several ways to deal with this. We're going to start with early stage defense, okay, or counter offense, I should say. Now, the simplest way to avoid a collar tie is to be at an open distance. So if I'm this far away, stay where you are. If I'm this far away, this is open distance. I can't reach Ernesto. He can't reach me. He can't collar tie me. Okay, that's the simplest way. So if I'm here, I see him go to collar. There. I just move out of the way. That's simple. Now, the problem with only using that method is that as soon as I back up, can I reattack right off the bat? No, I've kind of stifled my own offense. So if I'm like super quick and coming in and out, yeah, maybe that could be a tactic. But I want to start from early stage and work to like late stage defense for this. So if I can't use my distance here, what I'm going to be looking to do is gain a wrist control, specifically a reverse wrist grip. So as he goes to collar tie me, I'm going to be looking to use my hand covering my shoulder in this position and catch his wrist kind of with a C grip. So as he goes there, right there, I'm catching that now. Okay, now from here, one hand, one arm against one arm. This is an even battle. It wouldn't take too much for necessarily to pull his elbow back, and now he strips the grip, and now we're back to neutral. So right away, once I catch this, I want to double this up here, catching two hands on one wrist, almost like I'm swinging a baseball bat. Okay. Now from here, I have a few options, but what I want to do is I want to pull this hand in, or wrist form. I want to pull this into my body. Now, if my elbow remains on the outside of his arm, like so, what I can start to do is lean in and then I'll put some weight onto that elbow. If I stay in this position, I can simply let go of this hand, swim to the outside. Now I have a 2-on-1. And now from here, I have numerous attacks that I can look to attack. If I simply step my foot to the outside foot position, now I have my back body lock series. I have my single leg. I have my arm post back attacks. So I have several pathways. I want you guys, because you're all different body types, all different styles of grapplers, I want you guys to, I'm going to give you a few options. I want you to pick one that makes sense for your style from this catch. So right there, reverse wrist, double up, elbow outside, 2-on-1, foot to the outside. From here, if we want to go to our single leg, we're going to clear this arm out of the way. Okay, we're going to come up here. We're going to make sure shoulder is on top of the hip, and I'm putting shoulder pressure down on the knee. This is often a detail that people in jiu-jitsu miss, but I need this knee bent before I take him down. So here, I put shoulder pressure down, much the same way I would do from side control. Once this knee's bent, now I can move my feet to get the takedown and get the guard pass. Okay? Whereas if I go here and I step, and now he's able to hop and set his wizard, he can do a lot of things here that wreck my offense. Simple adjustment for me, dropping my shoulder down, okay, and now his defense is very different in that position. Okay, so that's just a quick intro to the single. I'll come around and help you guys if that's the pathway you choose. Next option here, elbow outside, 2-on-1, outside step. From here, I take my hand that's on his bicep. I'm going to reach to the far hip, walk behind. As at the same time I'm walking behind, I'm going to let go of the wrist and lock the body lock. You'll notice I have his arm trapped in this position. This is really favorable when I want to do something like a mat return. So if that's the option I'm looking for, this foot's going to step in front. So I have one foot in front of his toes, one foot behind his heel. As I drive down with my shoulder, I'm going to lift up with this elbow here, and then I'm going to use my legs to kind of squat upwards. And then we're going to go down. Now from here, lots of basic jiu-jitsu pathways, such as taking the back, rear naked choke, etc. Okay? So here, boom, step, take the body lock, up, down. Okay? We're going to start there. I want you to pick one of those pathways and just drill that out with your partner. 1, 2, elbow position when we are blocking that collar tie with a reverse grip. Okay? This is my elbows on the outside. Now, sometimes we might just naturally slip where our elbow comes on the inside. Okay? and this is going to open up a whole new pathway. The key here is going to be pinching my elbow tight to my body. Okay, I want to glue this arm tight to my ribs. Now, it's the hand that I have the reverse grip with is going to let go, and I'm going to swim into an underhook. Okay, so let's see this one more time. So here, right there, double up, inside elbow position, underhook. Now, as I take my underhook, I want to dominate the battle of the shoulder line and the hip line. So I'm going to dominate the battle of the hip line with an inside foot position. That means my feet are stepping in between his feet. And then I need a secondary grip. And now I'm going to step in here. Okay? Underhook alone is actually like a 50-50 position because Ernesto will have an overhook. So if we battle from here, it's like the dog fight from our feet. In order to maximize our efficiency, we're going to win at the hip, the shoulder, and the second grip. So it might be a wrist, it might be an elbow, it might be a head. But this hand, I need a solid connection here. Okay, now that I have this, I'm winning in all three areas. I'm winning in head position, I'm winning in the hand fight, and I'm winning in hip position. And those are three areas, regardless of technique, that we want to dominate when we're in a standing position. Head, hands, and hips. Okay? Now from here, a technique I really like to do is our knee pick. Oftentimes, the common reaction is going to be, as I step in, Ernesto's going to step this leg back, and now that's going to allow my hand that was on the wrist to block the knee as I accelerate forward here. Okay? Now, because we're doing jiu-jitsu, I want to do the knee pick past his guard. I don't want to wind up in half guard. This would be favorable in wrestling because now I can get into that top half and pin. But in jiu-jitsu, I don't want to give him that ability if I don't have to. I want to get past the hip line with my hip. Okay, so everything stays the same up here, right there. I catch, I double up, elbow comes to the inside position, and now hand that was on the reverse grip shoots to my underhook. As I step, I'm looking to trap right here. He's already doing the right reaction, so now my hand's blocking that knee, punching with my bicep, accelerating, getting hip to hip position. Far side underhook, top side chest control. I have a lot of pathways here in jiu-jitsu to start getting to submission attacks. So, time, here, there, elbow, underhook, step, knee pick, through. Okay, questions? Simple enough. 1, 2. Get my inside foot position. Let's say Ernesto doesn't back that foot up. He doesn't give that like instant reaction of trying to square up. I'm going to use this lead leg to start to off balance him. I'm going to go into some judo footwork. Okay, so from here, what I want to make sure is I'm using a bit of a pivot on my toes. Okay, now this hamstring is going to chop and get his foot off the ground. Okay, from here, what I like to do for the easiest takedown, there's several options, but the easiest one is to drop my foot behind his ankle, and then I'm just going to move forward. Okay. Here, here, here. He doesn't move. I pivot, I extend, I block, and now if I want to go back to that knee tap here, I can. Okay, same thing. I want to land hip to hip and have that top side shoulder control. I'm controlling diagonally on his body, so this is excellent for pinning and position maintenance. Okay, if I go too high here, that's where he can start to insert that knee, re-guard, and cause me problems defensively. So making sure as I land that hip is down, I have backward pressure here with my toes, and I have this underhook. Okay, that will help. So one more time. Here, 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 here. Kick, block, go down. Okay, now, if that's not fancy enough for you, okay, because I know we all like fancy at seminars, okay, as I go through here, as I have him up, I'm going to make sure, see, personally me, I actually prefer to have an elbow grip here, but that's typically because of my arm length. You can do this from the wrist or the elbow. I'm going to pull his arm towards my body, and I'm going to hop into him. And then land. And that'd be like a classic Uchimata. Okay, so here, yeah, yeah. Okay, there. Be nice to each other now. Okay. Yeah. Okay. So here, here, here. takedown, lock, harder takedown, I pull, and then land on top. Okay? If I feel, I'm going to give you one more. I told you I'm overwhelming you. If I feel like I can't get that pull, here I'm going to step in front of his foot and then move forward and pull. And that's going to get the biggest amplitude throw. So here, I block. Okay? Here, chop, chop, throw. Okay, that one's hard though. That will take some time to get. So 3 options from our judo footwork. You guys need to see any of those again? You're good? 1, 2, 3. Let's say our partner, we're unable to get that reverse grip. They're just too fast. They get connection. Okay. Now, these are going to be our middle stage defenses. They don't completely have that like death grip where we're like, oh my god, my neck's going to fall off. Okay, we're not there yet. I'll give you some options when we get there. Okay, but they do get connection. They beat us, so they go, and I don't quite have it. I'm controlling his forearm here. I missed it. Okay, so what I'm going to do here, the simplest thing I want to do is I'm going to swim to inside hand position here. So my hand is going to come on the inside. I'm going to cover the bicep. I would ideally like a second grip. I'm just showing you guys here without it. Okay, and then I'm going to just create a little bit of separation. And now I have an inside bicep tie. Okay, so this is simple. He doesn't have that death grip yet, so I swim in, and then I connect here. Okay, now my secondary hand could be on the shoulder. Okay, I could start snapping the head over. Okay, I can switch my grip here. In wrestling, we used to call this the bus driver, where you move the head one way and then move the head the other way. Okay, we call this like steering the wheel of the bus driver. That's what we called it growing up. Okay, so realize that when I'm set in this hand position, my hands don't need to stay locked. I can start moving my hands and creating opportunities and then kind of going in. Okay, so we're here, boom, right there. I can't get the wrist, so I swim inside. Okay, I get to that tricep, and now I just, from here, I'm using my body and backing up. He doesn't have a collar tie. I get a second grip, and I start moving my hands. I'll create right there, front headlock. Okay, or his head pops up. Now I begin the elevation change, and I can shoot underneath. We're going to talk about that in a second. I want you guys just to get used to it. Swimming in, creating separation, and then 2 hands moving. That's all I want you to do right now, and then we'll talk about opportunities after that. Questions? 1, 2. Okay. Now I create that space, and now I have hands on. Okay? As I'm moving him around, I'm looking for one of 2 things. 1, his head to come down, or 2, his head to come up. Generally speaking, when we start attacking collar ties and putting pressure on the head, one of those 2 things is going to happen. Let's say his head pops up for the first pathway. So as I go, his head pops up. Okay, he comes into a stance that's less than favorable. What I'm going to be looking to do, a simple attack is a double leg. Okay, and I'm going to show you a BJJ specific way to do this, because wrestling doesn't always work here. You get yourself choked. From here, the biggest thing is I want to lower my elevation by bending at my knees. I don't have to like drop down to my knee here. Okay, if you're on the lighter side of things, I'd recommend it. If you're on the bigger side of things, I wouldn't recommend it. Okay, but from here, I still, regardless of my body size, I do need to bend my knees and lower my elevation. Okay, as my hands come down, you'll notice my elbows are by my side. Now, if I'm going to stay on my feet for this double leg, I need to do 3 steps here. And I actually mean like stepping my feet. So my first step is towards him, right here. Okay, my second step is beside him, and then my third step is across. Okay, so one more time with my back. This is him. Okay, so here he pops up. 1, 2, 3. Now, if you want to be a little guy, on your first step you drop your knee. Your second step you go here. Your third step you step across. It's the same 3 steps, but it's just a different height. So 1, 2, 3. Okay, so what I want you guys to do, we're going to talk about how to drop the legs in a second, but I want you to focus on those steps, because improperly stepping on the first step to here gets me in a territory where I could get choked or easily sprawled on. Okay, I need to be here. My chest is covering the quads. So he hits the collar tie, I swim in, break, snap, snap, snap. He pops up. 1, 2, 3. Just get to there. We'll talk about finishing details. Don't take anyone down yet. 1, 2, go. Put it like when I coach wrestling. And now I like to lock my hands around the legs. I feel like this gives me superior ability to prevent myself from winding up in a guard. Okay, wrestling, there's no guard play. I don't have to worry about this detail, so I typically leave my hands separated. So everything's going to stay the same. I swim inside, I break that grip, I move, I move, I move. Now from here, when I shoot in, on my first step, I want to lock my hands. Now, I don't really care the way you do this. We can go fingers, we can go palm to palm, or if you have like crazy long arms, which I don't, you could even go like wrist to wrist. But I do want your hands locked. Okay? Now, after we hit our 3 steps, what that allows us to do is land in this position where we have the knees pinched. Okay, and I've said this before, maybe some of you have heard me say this. Anytime the knees are pinched together, it's impossible for the defensive player to play a good guard. Okay, I could simply pass by just like walking through here, pinning down into like a leg drag. Okay, I could go like the Khabib special, step over and triangle. Okay, I could just simply walk past, go right into side control. Regardless, each time when his knees are pinched, he can't use his legs effectively. So that's the superiority, in my opinion, or the benefit with locking my hands. Okay, so everything's going to be the same. You guys' steps are really nice. We pop that through. We square up our opponent. Actually, I should say another detail, getting that offensive stance. More stagger. Good. So if he's staggered here, it's hard for me to hit my double. Okay? Whereas if he's squared up, then I can come in and collect both legs at the same time. So just a minor detail. If I'm here, I have 2 hands on, and I need that leg forward, I pull that arm. Back that leg up. If he has that leg forward, I use this hand, I square up, and then I shoot. Okay, I want the feet squared down. So here, shoot, collect on my first step, 2, 3. As we come down, okay, option 1, we drive this knee underneath, we step over, we triangle. Okay, from here, I'm going to work slowly up the body. Ideally, I get 2 underhooks. And now I'm into a nice, high offensive S mount if I want, but I'm dominating from here. Okay, elbows are up. He's there. He's in a crappy position. Okay, option 2, I elevate the legs off the ground and I table them like so. You'll notice my elbow and my knee are pinched together. Okay, now from here, I'm going to step this way. Okay, and then I'm going to use my elbow to drop that outside knee down. And then I'm going to staple it. And now I'm in my leg drag. Now if I can beat this elbow line, okay, and I can force all 4 limbs in one direction, now I can come here. I can get my gift wrap. I can get my seatbelt. I can start taking the back from a really nice offensive position. Lots of attacks, triangles, arm bars. You guys, I think, know what I mean. Okay, so I want you to pick one of those pathways. Go Khabib special to mount, or go leg drag to the back. So here, boom. 1, here, step, control, high mount, or 2, here, 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 spin, 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 spin. Okay, knee drives down, elbow comes here, I pin, I beat this arm, whether it's with my hands or chest pressure. Okay, I rotate, get my gift wrap, sit up, take it back. Okay, 1, 2, late stage defenses. He has the collar tie. I missed the wrist. I have the forearm here. Okay. Now, if I'm going for that inside grip, a good grappler's gonna be like, and they're gonna begin to pull that elbow in. So now it's like super awkward for me to reach in. Okay, that's going to happen commonly. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to thumb post on the outside of the elbow. Grab with the other hand. So here, if I can't get in, I thumb post on the outside of the elbow. I'm C-gripping the top of the elbow here, and then I'm going to drive my elbow forward, and I'm going to step to a new angle. And then I just take the grip right off my neck. So other side so they can see. So I can't get in, I thumb post, okay, I drive the elbow forward, and I get that elbow right off my head. Okay? Now from here, a nice option, we have tons and tons of options. But just based on my hip position, what I'd be going for is a single leg takedown. Because all that requires from this is a small step, a squat, and a collection. Okay, now some finer details on my single leg. When I collect here, I want to make sure the hand that's reaching behind the leg covers on top of the hand that's in front of the leg. This secures my grip much tighter. If I go the other direction and he begins to pull my grip upwards, this is going to release. Okay, if I go this way and he pulls my grip upwards, it just locks the lock higher instead. Okay, so from here, in a single leg, the benefit of my single leg is I'm only attacking one of his legs at a time. In a double leg, the benefit, sorry, I should rewind. A single leg is easier to get, but harder to finish. Whereas a double leg is harder to get, but easier to finish. So if I get to my outside step, I get the lock correct, I want to make sure I start to attack this leg. The simplest way I'm going to do this is lifting it off the ground. Now, some finer details here. I want to make sure my toes are pointing in the same direction as his toe. What that does is it puts me in a safe spot where he can't choke me. If I face my toes at his foot, and then he sprawls a little bit, now I'm in choke city. Okay? If I go at this angle, okay, he doesn't have the ability to swim over and attack my neck. Now, as I mentioned earlier, the key detail here for hip position is my shoulder pressure. So even without my grip here, I'm doing that. Okay? My lock just keeps his leg tight to my body, but it's the shoulder pressure that off balances him. Now, I don't want to pinch my knees here tight. I want my knees wide. And a fun way to finish this single leg here, one of my favorites, is I drop my elbow down to my knee, and then I'm going to pull him into an elevated single finish. You're going to go flying, okay? So from here, my elbow, obviously when you guys do this, take care of each other. My elbow is going to drop down, and then I'm going to step away from him, and then raise my hands up. Okay, and now from here, I step through, and I'm right into my leg drag position again. One more time. So he goes collar tie, I can't fight on the inside. So I thumb post, I step. Notice my outside step is timed with clearing that collar tie. Squat, get the proper grip, lift that foot off the ground. Now, I know that I've already attacked this foot, so I'm going to attack this foot. I'm going to do it with an elevated single, which is like an invisible foot sweep. It's like I foot sweep him without ever moving my foot. With my grip locked, I drop this elbow to this knee here. Okay, from here, I'm just doing this motion. Stepping, and then standing up. Stepping, standing up. Okay, what that does is it swings his leg out from underneath him, and then at minimum, if there's a big height difference, he's going to be like this. And I'll show you what to do after. If you're in a similar height, then it goes like this. And you take them right out, staple, right into good jiu-jitsu guard passing. Okay? One more time. Can't get inside. Thumb post, step, single leg. Elbow position, elevate. Staple, go to work. Questions? Give it a shot. 1, 2. So this doesn't always work, but there is pathways to get to the end goal. Okay, so let's say we're going to jump right to that position. We get that elevated single leg here, and it's like, dang, their foot's still on the ground. Okay, what I want to do here is I want to make sure this knee is above the hip line. Okay, if he starts to stomp that leg down where his knees are below the hip line, he's going to be strong here. If I keep the knee above the hip line, I'm going to be strong here. So first things first, I make sure I have a nice solid like bite on the ankle, much the same if I was going to go for like a straight ankle lock. I under, like a uppercut almost under the knee. Okay, and now from here, the knee's above the hip, and I'm just going to walk forward. Now, as I walk forward, he has to hop. Then I'm going to time the hop with a foot sweep, and then I get on top. So that's option one. Okay? Option two, I get this position. If I want to be mean, I'm not going to go behind the knee. I'm going to reach to an over tie grip behind the neck here. I'm going to pull the head in this direction and kick the leg out here. So we're doing, rather than like in a linear attack, is the first option. A circular attack is the second option. So here, here. I use this hand that was behind the knee. I cup that kind of far side of the neck. As I pull, I kick. Okay. Okay? And I land myself. Don't get me in the head like I just did. Okay? So here, option one, pump, chop. Okay? Option two, here, connect, pull. We're winding up in our leg drag stable. Now, just to talk about this a second. If I want to go to the top, attack like mount, for example, I'm going to dig this far side underhook. I'm going to get chest on chest. As I walk by, I'm going to cut my knee on belly, and I'm going to get to mount. So that way I force the mount from our leg drag. If I want, no, stay down. If I want the back, the target's not the far side underhook, the target's the near side elbow. I get that away, I control it with chest pressure, and then I hit my angle for my back attack. So be intentional from here, going to whatever pathway you want. That makes sense for your game. Okay, but wind up on the back, work from mount. 1, 2. This next one, okay, these are late stage. This is a late stage, like get a really good grip. Real strong. There we go. This is what I'm talking about. Like, I can't posture out of this. I can't get in here, but I can do that. Okay? So if this thumb push, elbow push, doesn't work, okay, what I'm going to do is an overtie. So rather than attacking the thumb, I'm going to go right where we were before with the grip here. Okay? My goal from this position is to pull his elbow into his body and crunch in. Okay? So I'm pulling and crunching. Now he has an inability to snap me. Okay? Because his arm's like T-Rexed in, you know? Okay, now what I'm going to do, this is some fun, seminar fun, okay? I'm going to hit a grapevine with my lead leg. Okay, so he has the collar tie, over tie, crunch, grapevine. Now, from here, this gets into some leg lock entries. These are fun to do, okay? If you're going to hit this in a tournament, make sure you're properly at the right level of tournament, and you're like, have this dialed in, okay? From here, a simple way is we're going to cut backwards. I'm gonna reach behind his knee with my hand, and I'm gonna hop this leg back. Now we're gonna end up here. Okay, I triangle my legs, I cup the knee, I cover, and now I'm right into a nice heel hook. Okay, so simple. I'm not gonna go over heel hook mechanics right now because the focus of today is the takedown aspect, but I can walk around and help you guys if you have any specific questions. Okay, so here I can't do this here. I can't thumb punch. Over tie, collapse, grapevine. Okay? If nothing else, realistically, I've tried this on Braden, so you guys should know Braden. He just like, and he just got out of here. And I didn't have a collar tie on my neck anymore, so it was wonderful. Okay? If I'm going for the leg lock, this hand reaches to the knee. A simple way to do this is I'm going to hop backwards, and then I collect my triangle, cup, cover the toes, expose the heel, strong control there. Okay? One more time. Here, over tie, collapse, grapevine. Collect, hop, collect, collect, collect. Questions? Okay? Let's let everyone walk out of here today. 1, 2, go. Into it. Okay, so same thing. We have that collar tie. We go over tie. We insert here. Okay, now from here, if I don't want to go backwards, I can go forwards. Okay, but the key on this forward roll is I maintain control of the head. As I lower my shoulder, okay, I'm shoulder rolling over this shoulder here. That's critical. I have to keep his head. If he postures up, this position will fall apart. So as I reach here, I'm keeping this head down and I'm rolling. Okay? And now I'm landing on top in the same direction. As long as I maintain his head, he'll roll with me. If I lose the head, I'm going to lose this. Okay? So it's critical I keep the head. So one more time. Here, I pull. I insert my grapevine. As I bend to get that leg, the head comes down with me. I hit my roll, and now I'm right where I need to be to finish my heel hook. Okay, one more time. Nesta's being a really good partner here, guys. Okay, he's helping me learn this movement. Here, pull, insert, collect, roll, right in place. Okay, give it a shot, but make sure you have the head. 1, 2, go.